your eyes. You have arrived at La Cage aux Folles.
What we are, and what we are is an illusion.
Bonsoir, bonsoir.
We love how it feels, putting on heels, causing confusion. We face life, though it's sometimes sweet and sometimes bitter. Face life with a little guts and lots of glitter.
To be part of this whole thing, and for us just to be nominated, I think we've got 11 nominations, so for every department to be recognised is enough as far as I'm concerned. That'd be fine. If we just ended it today, I'd be happy. I think the most extraordinary thing about it is it sort of demands everything that I've learned over 20-odd years acting, you know. Whether it's singing or whether it's clowning or whether it's making it as moving as possible and as real as possible. I mean, just playing a woman for 3 hours is quite a challenge, but I see him as one of the most fragile people I've ever played, one of the most vulnerable people you could possibly meet, who then has this suit of armour that he puts on that's really quite fabulous. And I find there's a tremendous range inside of that. The biggest thrill is probably working with Kelsey Grammer. He's just a dream come true. I mean, I've worked with several, big stars, and he is a true star because he has such grace, such generosity. So there was a woman in the cast who said the other day, if only a man would look at me like Kelsey looks at you. And I think, yes, it's a sort of extraordinary launch pad, to work opposite. He's a fabulous guy. And one of the most extraordinary days of this entire adventure so far was having tea with Jerry Herman above the Waldorf Astoria in this sort of cyclorama room and talking about when he first wrote Mascara and what he feels best at times and I Am and the letters that he and I have received about it. That I couldn't have imagined that this extraordinary legend, to me probably the most important man in musicals, that I'd be sitting there talking with him about the nuance of songs and lyrics that he'd written and things like that. So that's almost impossible to compute, really.
You don't realize how powerful Jerry Herman's lyrics are when you sing The Best of Times Is Now, and the idea of being so present in your life and enjoying this moment and not focusing on the past, not focusing on the future, but just being here. And to have that spirit every night is just so wonderful.
It's a real honor. It is a serious, deep honor to be recognized, at least given a nomination for the Tony. It's like your wildest dream come true. At least it's mine. I love theater, and that's what happened to me when I was a little boy. And I didn't know I'd get back to it, but when I was around 16, I started, and it's made all the difference in my life. It is where I always wanted to be. It is the greatest place to be entertained. I've always believed that. Live, breathing actors in front of a live, breathing audience. And what happens on that day with that group of people will not happen with any other group of people. And that's what I love about it. I always liked the idea of singing. I started out as a singer, but my career took me elsewhere. And so this opportunity was double-edged for me because I thought, boy, I'll get to sing. And people will know, ooh, he actually can sing a little. And so we've had some success with that. The whole process, the rehearsal process was extraordinary because they'd already sort of laid the groundwork and the blueprint for the traffic of the show. And that to me is a presumptive, like a blessing, because if I know where the character goes, I find it really easy to flesh him in. So the blocking to me is one of the chief components of finding a character. And they'd already done it, and they did a pretty good job on it in London. So I was able to step into a framework that made it easier for me to free up my creativity. It was a great experience.
Welcome to La Cage aux Folles.